So I've got a young pigeon, and the thing about the columbidae, or the pigeons, is that their parents, when they gather food, they take it down into their gizzard and they grind it up into a thing called crop milk, which means that pigeons feed their young on milk rather than on regurgitated solid foods like a lot of birds. So consequently you have to feed pigeons in a very interesting way. So what I've got here is I've got a syringe, and I've got a mixture of oats and some vitamins here for him. And sometimes I put egg in and different things, but today it's just the oats and the vitamins. And I'm using a balloon which I've chopped off halfway to mimic the parent's beak. And I put the syringe into the beak, into the balloon, and then I have to put this soft part of the balloon over the beak of my young pigeon here. He's quite used to it actually. When they first come in, they're terribly annoyed about it and stroppy, and they sort of throw the ready break all over the kitchen. And then he goes down into his little, I want you to see that, he goes down into his begging posture there. He puts his wings up, he's like a little, like he's praying, like he's kneeling down to pray. And then I'm gently pushing down the syringe bit by bit. I'm not as good as your mummy would be at this. She would be so much better. And I'm just giving him a bit of food there. And he kind of, between us, we've figured out that it's all right really, and we can do this. But I have to sometimes grab you, don't I, your little nose. Come on, that's it. Ready? Okay, let's do it. That's it. And we have to do this about 4 or 5 times every day for many, many weeks until they're fully grown. And then eventually their beak, because at this age they look like little tiny baby dragons. They look like scruffy little dragons, and they've got a funny little soft shaped beak, very different to the adult beak. And eventually their beak changes and they start to peck food, and then you're very relieved, especially if you've got several of them on the go at once. And you're feeding a baby deer as well, which is what we're doing at the moment. There we go. You mustn't overfeed them, because their crop can actually get distended. So they have a bag here, which is the crop, which is where they take the food into. And you don't want to overfeed it, because they can actually just get, their crop can be too big. So you need to sort of be quite careful and judge that quite carefully. I do it by feeling the crop and just making sure it's not too big. Because at the moment he's a bit reticent, but as they get older they get really greedy and really interested in the food. Not greedy, but hungry and wanting more and more food. So there we go. Is that enough? And now we have to wash him, because we don't want ready breath all over his feathers, because you know what happens to ready breath when it goes hard. It's not good. Okay.